Once upon a time, long, long ago, in a little cottage in the woods, lived a girl called Molly. She lived alone with her mum and their pet animals. They were very poor. Her mum was old and strict. She had to look after Molly alone because her dad had to go to a different country to work. Molly was a cheerful girl and was 10 years old. They lived in a very small house with not much furniture. They didn't even have a TV. Molly's favourite thing to do was look after her animals. They were her only friends. One miserable day, Molly's mum was down to the last loaf of bread in the cupboard. "Come, Molly!" cried Mum. "What?" asked Molly. "You need to go to the market and sell the pig," said Mum. "No, no, no," cried Molly. "Fine, then starve," shouted Mum. It was a long way to the market, which gave Molly a chance to say goodbye to the pig. "I'm sorry, pig, I'll miss you," said Molly. Molly was so upset. Suddenly an old lady came by and made an offer. "That pig is old. He isn't worth much," the lady exclaimed. What is he worth?" asked Molly. The lady gave Molly 3 seeds. "These are magic seeds. Plant them once you are home." The lady gave Molly the seeds and took the pig. Molly rushed home to show her mum the seeds. She was so excited. She got home and showed her mum. Her mum burst with anger. "What are they?" asked Mum. "They are magic seeds," replied Molly. "There's no such thing as magic," shouted Mum. "Now get to your room." Mum threw them out of the window. She was furious. Molly was so upset. Her pig was the only friend she had. Molly missed him already. It was the next day. Molly woke up. She rubbed her eyes because she didn't sleep very well after losing her only friend. She opened her curtains and she gasped, "There's a massive beanstalk in my garden!" Molly quickly got dressed and packed her bag and went to climb the beanstalk. Molly stood at the bottom of the beanstalk. She looked up. It looked like it went for miles. One step at a time, she started to climb the beanstalk. The higher she got, the more scared she became. Molly couldn't look down. Molly was out of breath, but she finally made it. She looked up and dun, dun, dun! There was a giant castle! The door was slightly open. Molly went inside and there was a table 10 times bigger than Molly. She was so confused. There were chairs, sofas and TV and even a bed, all 10 times bigger than any of Molly's at home. Molly crept into the kitchen. All the floorboards were squeaky. Squeak! Molly froze. On the table she saw a giant hen which laid golden eggs. Molly had never seen anything like it before. Suddenly she heard a big rumbling sound. She ducked and hid under the table. There were knives as big as baseball bats, and there were bowls as big as swimming pools. Molly saw a giant door. She wanted to find out what was behind it. She had to push and push and push. Finally, she opened the door. Squeak! The noise was getting louder. Molly ended up in a bedroom. The noise was so loud the ground was shaking. Molly lifted the blanket off of the bed and shouted, "Yeek!" There was a giant! The giant woke up and Molly ran to the nearest hiding spot behind the curtains. The giant shouted, "3, 5, 4, fun! I smell blood of an English girl." He jumped out of bed. He looked under the bed and in the wardrobe. Molly managed to leave the room, but the door slammed. It alerted the giant that she had left the room. The giant looked in the kitchen. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Molly ran to one of the giant's shoes. She fell into the shoe and knocked over the vase with an almighty smash. The giant ran after Molly as she tracked her steps back to the entrance. Thump, thump, thump. The giant ran, but he lost Molly. The ground was shaking. Molly was just about to go down the beanstalk when she heard crying. It sounded like someone was in trouble. She had to go and check. Molly searched the whole castle. There was a room she hadn't checked. She slowly crept towards the bedroom door. The noise was getting louder. She opened the door. Push, push, push. Whoosh! A flood of tears swept Molly down the hallway. She almost drowned. She held onto the stair rail. Molly was terrified. She almost lost her grip. Suddenly, she felt a big hand scoop her up, like a boat in a river of tears. Molly looked up and was staring into the face of the giant. He had big bushy eyebrows, big pointy nose, two big round eyes, a big chin. His eyes were as red as two big tomatoes, and his big pointy nose was running. Plop, 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 splash! It hit Molly straight in the eye. That's when she realised it was the giant. It was you who had been crying, exclaimed Molly. I wanted to play with you, the giant cried. But you were chasing me, Molly replied. I was so excited I hadn't seen anyone in 100 years, the giant told Molly. Where are all your friends? Asked Molly. The giant replied, many, many years ago, everyone in the village feared giants, so they chopped down all of the beanstalks and all the giants fell from the sky. I was lucky and I saw a grey witch helped me to make and made my beanstalk invisible. Molly remembered the old lady from the market. I think it was the witch who gave me the seeds, said Molly. But why would she give you the seeds to my beanstalk? Asked the giant. I sold my pet pig to get money for food, Molly answered. My castle has lots of crops for you to take home. My hen lays the best golden eggs, replied the giant. Why would you do that for me? Asked Molly. I would like you to be my new friend, replied the giant. I would love you to, answered Molly. Molly and the giant became close friends. Molly gave the giant a nickname called Mr. Huge. Molly didn't want to leave the giant after a long day. Molly came up with a fantastic idea, a way that she could be able to visit the giant whenever she liked. Molly got the villagers together and explained what had happened and how the gentle giant was willing to help the village. With their help, she built a ladder and up to the beanstalk and a slide to slide down. This way she could see Mr. Huge all the time. The pair became the best of friends, and the villagers never went hungry again. They all lived together happily, side by side, and nobody was scared or alone any longer. And they all lived happily ever after. The end.